All right, this is Aaron Fenorin, and he went X1 with
8-1 with Kozmo.
8-1 with Kozmo.
Digital.
So yeah, let's see your deck profile.
So I played 2 copies of Kozmo Strawman.
Okay.
I was playing 3 copies of him, but he does clog a bit, and I had to throw in one card last second. But he's really good to top deck, and especially in the mirror match, being able to bring back Dark Destroyer is really good late game.
Yeah.
3 copies of Kozmo Farm Girl. I considered dropping her to 2, but I just put Honest back in, so she does get her effect off every now and then.
Okay, does other Kozmo decks run Honest?
A few did, but most of them weren't.
Okay.
2 copies of Kozmo Wicked Witch. I know a lot of people play 3 of this, but I think that 3 is too much, so I was just playing 2. She's a good 1900, protects herself. I actually only used her once today for the stalling part. Okay. Otherwise, I just used her as a beat stick.
Yeah.
And a name. 1 copy of Good Witch. It's an out to Wicked Witch lock in the mirror match. And also against like F0, you can flip it face down and kill it with Dark Destroyer. So those are all the little ones I play.
Okay.
And then ships, 3 copies of Dark Destroyer, best ship in the deck.
Damn.
Just when it's summoned, kills a monster. It can't be targeted by card effects, 3,000 attack, and if it's destroyed, it floats into 1 with a lower level than it, so 7 or lower. Then 3 copies of Kozmo Slip Rider, the second best ship. When it's summoned, it kills a spell or trap card, and you can tribute summon it by a lot of different ways that I'll show you later. There's spell cards. But so 2,300 attack, so you can oftentimes crash this with King of the Pharaoh Imps. I did that like 5 times today. And then it summons another one from deck. That's a lower level than it. Then 2 copies of Kozmo Forerunner. This was the boss monster of the deck, but when we got Dark Destroyer, this card is lackluster now. But 2 times today, I crashed it with Cyframe Omega and got to summon another one from the deck. So it's just, it can't be targeted by card effects. Each standby phase, I gain 1,000, and if it's destroyed, it floats into a small.
So you run mostly monsters in this deck? Or?
21 monsters.
21, okay.
1 copy of Kozmo Dogfighter. I know a lot of people don't main deck this, but I like being able to go down the ladder, especially in the mirror match when you crash Forerunners. You can summon this in defense, and nothing that they can summon off a Forerunner can get over the 2,400. That has the same stat line as him, and if he's destroyed, he banishes himself from the grave, special 1 with lower level.
Okay.
So those are all the Cosmos I play. Then I play 4 other monsters, 2 copies of Ghost Ogre and 2 copies of Honest. Ghost Ogre is really good. I just threw in the second one, that's what I pulled the third Strawman out for. So I can pitch it from hand to kill something, or I can use it to kill my own ship when it activates its effect and float into another card. And then also I can bring it back with Norden and Synchro Summon with it. And same type of concept with Honest, I can use it to get a search off, and then later on I can bring it back for a rank 4.
Okay.
So that's all my monsters, 21 monsters.
Okay.
On the spells, 3 copies of Cosmotown, best spell in the deck. It's like, this card is nuts. 1 copy of Allure. I play 1 Dogfighter, 2 Wicked Witch, and 3 Dark Destroyer, so I have 6 targets in deck, and oftentimes it's just like Pot of Greed, because you just add the card back with Cosmotown. 3 copies of Emergency Teleport. It just allows me to special summon either Ghost Ogre for a Synchro Summon.
Are those originals?
Yeah.
Wow.
Or Farm Girl or Strawman to further my plays. And 2 copies of Instant Fusion because I played Norden and Honest and Ghost Ogre. And Odd-Eyed Meteor Burst won me a few games. 2 copies of Monarch Stormforth for the mirror match mainly because I can, or even when my opponent summons Cyframe Omega, I can use this in the standby phase since it's quick play. And when I enter main phase 1, I have priority, so I can tribute off the Omega before they can use its effect. And so it just allows me to tribute my opponent's monsters, and it helps when I brick with just a ton of ships. So that's all my spells. I play 11. And then traps. I main deck 2 copies of Anti-Spell Fragrance. I just didn't want to deal with pendulums today. And even against other decks, like I played against Dark World BA round 1, and I resolved this against him, and his entire hand is spells, so he just lost. 2 copies of Breakthrough and 3 copies of Fiendish Chain. I was only playing the 2 Breakthroughs because and I was playing Reasoning in the main deck, but I pulled that out when I put in the Anti-Spell Fragrances. And it was really good like that, but Breakthrough's really mainly for the mirror match, and Fiendish Chains are in here because of Odd-Eye's Absolute Dragon and Odd-Eye's Meteor Burst Dragon. I just don't want them to resolve. And also with Skull Crobat Joker, you always want to be able to negate it. And then last trap, one copy of Andy's. I hate this card, and I side it out every single game. I only play it so that I can get my opponent to side it out too.
Alright.
So that's the main deck. Extra deck. Token, 2 Nordens, just for the instant fusions. 2 Chimera Techs for the mirror match. I can fusion summon using Cyber Dragon and their machines. 1 copy of Ancient Fairy Dragon. This won me 2 games.
I heard Ancient Fairy Dragon got more hype for some reason.
Yeah, because you can kill Kozmo Town. Well, it kills all field spells on the field. Then you gain 1,000 for each one destroyed, and you can search your deck for a field spell card afterwards. So it's just a 3,000 defense monster. It's a light, so it works with Honest too.
Yeah.
And so it's just really good. I summoned it twice today, and it won me the games both times. 1 copy of Moonlight Rose Dragon. It allows me to bounce my opponent's Succeeds back like Absolute Dragon, and I just don't have to deal with them floating. And 1 copy of Clearing Synchro Dragon. For Infernoids, I played against Infernoids once, but I didn't see a Norden at all.
Mistakes?
Oh, yeah, give me that.
So this card, he can protect himself from being targeted, and also he can negate level 5 or higher monsters' effects. So he's really good against Infernoids. And then Odd Eyes Meteor Burst, MVP of the extra deck. It's a super Armades essentially. Your opponent can't use monster effects during the battle phase. So if you summon this and drop ships, they just lose. Then 1 Abyss Dweller for when I don't have the Ghost Order engraved. I'll use Norden, bring back Honest or something, make Abyss Dweller. 1 copy of Castell. This won me a game earlier today. I shuffled back I shuffled back his town, and then I just out-resourced him. 1 copy of
Best card in the game.
This card won
So
me
good.
2 games today, and it's won me over 30 matches since I've started playing this deck. Because they can't attack it when you have Kozmo Town, and in time it's really good, and it can attack your opponent directly. So it just puts a lot of pressure on your opponent. 1 copy of Artifact Durandal. He's really good for pushing OTKs through if you think your opponent has like Vanities or Storming Mirror Force. 1 copy of Volcasaurus. You can kill your opponent's monsters, burn them. Like if they have Wicked Witch on board, I'll oftentimes summon this, target it, they pay 1,000 for its effect, and then I'll summon Gaia Charger on top, and attack over, and they take 20.
That play is so popular.
So you just summon this over top, and they take 2,300 when you attack over the Wicked Witch, because it only has 300 defense. And then the last monster I play is 1 copy of Red Ice Flare Metal Dragon.
How you bring that
It can't be
out?
destroyed by... I play the level 7 Synchros and Forerunners.
Oh, you overlay them with Synchro sometimes?
So this is an alternate win condition. It can't be destroyed by card effects, and each time your opponent activates a card or effect, they take 500 damage. So if you put them down to like 1,000 or less, you just summon this and tell them to go.
Yeah,
and they lose.
you win.
So that's the extra deck. Side deck.
It's better than Cowboy.
The side deck was so good today.
Okay.
So against the mirror match, 2 Cyber Dragon cores, 2 Cyber Dragons.
Okay.
I just want to be able to Chimera Tech my opponent before they can Chimera Tech me. And
what does Chimera Tech really do in the mirror matches?
It says you fusion summon it from your extra deck by sending Cyber Dragon and machine type monsters on the field.
Oh, so all you need is technically 1 Cyber Dragon.
Yeah, and then and machine type monsters on the board, and you can use it's like Super Poly. You can use either player's monsters.
Oh god.
And then it gains 1,000 attack for each monster used. And also, if nothing else, one time today, I banished Cyber Dragon Core from grave to special summon Cyber Dragon from deck and attack for 21 direct per game.
Wow.
So Cyber Dragon Core and Cyber Dragon are really good. Also, they never call this on reasoning.
So you prepare for the mirror match.
Yeah. 3 copies of MST for mirror match sightings, Storming Mirror Force, and for pendulum decks. 3 copies of Reasoning for the mirror match or anything that I sided anti-spell fragrance out against, because I side these in and they never expect it, and especially in the mirror match, if I hit either one of these, they just lose.
Yeah.
Then the 3rd spell fragrance, just because pendulum decks. 2 Mask of Restrict, didn't use it once today, but it's in theory there for Kaijus and Magispectors, because Kaijus have a really good matchup against this deck. And Magispectors, if they get their Tempests going, you're going to lose. And then 2 copies of Time Space. I didn't side this once against the mirror match. I only sided it against pendulum decks.
Okay.
That's it.
All right, thanks for the deck profile, Aaron. All right.